What is going on, everybody? It's Alex, come back here in the video, and today we are doing round 2 of 3 of this mock draft. So y'all are new, of course, like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do, and if you're new, check out round 1 because y'all are coming late to the game. So of course, glad to have you guys here. Of course, for you guys returning, we're gonna have a good time today. Let's go pick 33. Let's kick it off. The Leones. So far we've gotten Treylon Burks as well as, if I'm not mistaken, KT, which I think that's a good pairing. Honestly, in retrospect, maybe Drake London would have been a better choice. He's been carving up college football, which has been amazing because I love Drake London. I've loved him since day one. So this is a spot where I have 2 routes I can go. I can go quarterback, which I'm looking pretty heavily at the Carson Strong pick, or we can look at a linebacker. You know, you got Christian Harris still on the board. I think this team does need a linebacker pretty desperately. Of course, quarterback, again, is another thing that we could target. I just don't know if 1, 2, 3, 4 quarterbacks are going to go in this round of the draft. It's a little bit tough for me to say that. Also, with the Dolphins, apparently they've agreed to terms with the Texans on Deshaun Watson. It's just not official yet. So that takes out another team from the equation. I know Washington would have been in the mix. They're already out of the mix. Philadelphia's still in the mix. You know, they could use a quarterback. Also thinking about how their teams would draft. You know, Howie Roseman likes his offensive impact dudes, especially in the second round with a quarterback. Texans even could be considering one. You could talk about a team, let's see, not the Bears. I was thinking about the Bears, but the Falcons, another team that could look at one, even the Vikings, even though they're doing a great job, Brownies as well. There's a lot of teams that could be looking for a quarterback, but not many teams I think would actually pull the trigger on one because Kenny Pickett's been going off. All right. But I think the linebacker depth is something that's a big issue. I think Christian Harris is going to be your best option right now. I think that he is a true junior, so he's really young. He has a lot to learn, a lot to grow, but this is a team where you guys can take it. You guys can deal with it. I don't think that's going to be a bad thing. Get Christian Harris on your squad. Be able to enjoy it. Treylon Burks, Christian Harris, KT. Fix up your squad with some really high-level dudes. Number 34, Dolphins. So finally, you guys actually have a high-end pick here. I would definitely be I would look at a wide receiver at this spot. I would. Even though the big guys are gone, I would look at a number 1 receiver like George Pickens and definitely be considering pulling the trigger right here. ACL tear, sure, but he will be carving up the combine because he's a very athletic receiver and he's a beast. Jameson Williams is someone who I have above him, as well as Jahan Dotson, but that's not really the type of receiver you're looking for if you are the Dolphins. I think they will try to get Deshaun Watson a real X weapon. So out of that understanding, I think George Pickens would be a great option. It is not the first round, so you're not blowing your first pick on it. We did go after a linebacker. I think we went after Nakobe Dean, which is the best linebacker in the class, which is great. Get George Pickens. You have a high ceiling number 1 wide receiver, Devontae Parker. He's probably a really good number 2, similar to Juju Smith-Schuster. George Pickens can actually be that number 1 for you guys, and just the sky's the limit with him as long as he stays healthy. Number 35, you got the Texans. I would also be considering a wide receiver at the spot. I would. I'm looking hard at Jameson Williams. I'm like, dude, that and Brandon Cooks would be lethal. Very lethal duo right there. Quarterback, definitely something that I'm still considering at this spot, especially if you don't get Tua in return. By the way, I want y'all's opinions on this. 1, Texans fans, would you want Tua in return? And 2, Steelers fans, would you be interested in Tua? Because if we could trade, let's just say a 3rd round pick, let's not undervalue him too much, a 3rd round pick for Tua Tagovailoa, would we? It's a legit question I would ask because, I mean, to be fair, the Steelers just had to trade away another 1st round pick to move up, and the Steelers are not ready to win right now. And I love my boy Matty, but there's a good chance he's probably going to go even before a guy like Malik Willis at this point. So regardless, we're going to get back on track. I still think quarterback's a really good option at this spot, and I think it is the right move to go after one. Desmond Ridder's been bringing Cincinnati to a whole new level. Granted, he's actually had some big slips in recent history. Kenny Pickett seems like he could be their guy. The only issue I have with Kenny Pickett is that I don't know how much of an upgrade he is over Davis Mills. Like, he seems like a very similar type of prospect to Davis Mills, just a lot more polish, which Davis Mills with a couple with, let's just say 14 games of experience, is probably going to be getting somewhere near that level of polish day one. Just don't know if Kenny Pickett would be able to come out and actually bring something new to the table that they don't already have. And that's no disrespect to Kenny Pickett. I'm just saying Davis Mills actually is starting to get some playing time, which we don't even know how he's going to develop. There are guys like Carson Strong and Desmond Ridder, though, who have some really damn good talent and are dudes who I'd be willing to take a shot on. So I'm looking at these teams here, and I don't really see many teams that are in need of a quarterback. So I'm going to trade back. And I know that I'm pretty sure the Eagles have not drafted a linebacker. So we are going to be moving up with the Eagles. I know the Eagles should be taking a quarterback. It's the linebacker issue is terrible, though. I'm going to be honest. Like you guys need another linebacker. So we'll see what we can do trade wise to move up in the future rounds. But we're going to see if maybe a 5th round pick can get us through and we can get a 7th in return or something. It seems like that's going to be good enough. So we're trading up a 5th and then getting back a 7th, approximately a 6th round value. I hope you guys cannot hear the computer screaming. That would be very terrifying to your ears as well as to mine right now. I think that getting a linebacker is a huge issue, especially with the lack of linebackers. Henry Toto, I'm projecting along with Mike Jones to return, just not having the years tackle percentage wise or play percentage wise that they probably should and that their agents would want them to. Brandon Smith is an absolute freak. 4.38 40 coming out of high school, and he's gotten a lot bigger, a lot stronger. I think he can still run those lower 4.4s. That has a lot of potential, especially for an Eagles team that is a little bit bereft on the defensive side in terms of in their linebacking group. So no disrespect to Alex Singleton, but still Brandon Smith, you can't deny his talent. Number 36, of course, the reason I took him is because I'd probably take him with this next pick to the Jets. There you go. You wonder why I traded up? That's why. The Jets sitting here, I would definitely consider looking at the offensive line. I think we did already. I'm just checking to see who we got exactly. Tyler Linderbaum. So we got someone on the inside. We don't have anybody on the outside yet. I would definitely be looking to fill that right tackle spot. Charles Cross is a dude who's been playing lights out. I just haven't seen him play right tackle at all. And unfortunately, the next guy is Daniel FAALELE, who I would love to bring in, just not at 36. He's not polished enough to be drafted at 36 overall. He needs to go to a desperate team while the edge group is still badass. And I think Zach Harrison fits perfectly what the Jets are looking for. I think that he'd work really well with, I'm bugging, Robert Saleh. Zach Harrison is a pretty damn solid selection, in my opinion. I like it. Bring him to New York. 37 with the Jags. Jags. Now, I consider getting Jaquan Brisker here. I do like getting Jaquan Brisker at this spot. Edge-wise, I could get a guy like Myjai Sanders as well. I think the guys on the interior of that 3-4 are a little bit more suspect than on the edge on the outside. That being said, I don't think that Caleb Von Chason will take me away from taking a guy like Nick Benito, who I think is a first-round grade. There are at least how many dudes? We got 3 dudes right here, along with 1, 2. I'm seeing how many edges we've taken. 3, 4, 5, 6. So let's see. We got about 9 or so edges that I think are worth a first round grade, legitimately. And that's how damn good this class is. Of course, we probably should look in the safety realm because Jaquan Brisker is a full all-around safety, and I really do like what he brings to the table. It's a tough one. I just don't know if I want to give up on Caleb Von Chason just yet. Again, we gave up on CJ Henderson already. I don't think that we can give up on a project when we already know he's a project. I'm going to get Jaquan Brisker here. I think that he's an absolute beast. I fell in love with him a little bit over the past couple of weeks, and he's been playing very well. Take him and enjoy him. Number 38, we got the Texans back on the board, and this is where I'm going to take somebody who I don't think he's going to be a bust. He's been doing a really good job with a team that should not be playing as well as they are. Desmond Ridder. I just think that the hype's going to get a little bit too real. Mel Kiper has him pretty high on their board. I think I'm forgetting who PFF was talking about, a certain big board, and they had Desmond Ridder as the number 1 overall quarterback on their board. So there are teams that want that. I think he falls a little bit after that Army game. Mike Renner talked about this, so shout out to him. Not that he needs a shout out from me, but he talked about how there was 2 pretty terrible balls in that Army game. Don't think Desmond Ridder is the perfect prospect by any stretch of the imagination. I know I got some big fans in the comment section, but he is able to command a team to a lot of wins, and he's been able to bring up a team from absolutely nothing to something really, really good. So Desmond Ridder, I'm going to give him some props. He's very mobile as well. He brings a new attack to the Texans that I don't think Davis Mills really does. So number 39, of course, when we see the trade come through, that's when this draft's always going to change. It's fun. Why we do it every week is because A, you get to see some changes. B, you get to see me change my opinion on players, and C, we get to have fun. So y'all are wondering, why on earth are you continuing to do mock draft after mock draft? Because it's fun. It's fun. You guys enjoy it. I enjoy it. So let's just enjoy it together. So I think we got DeMarvin Leal as well as Darian Kennard for the New York Giants. Of course, since some of you guys don't always remember, which is perfectly fine. I don't expect you guys to remember everything I do. We get to refresh together. We could look at a couple places right now. I would still look at an edge. I would, because BJ Hill's gone. So I don't think that's impossible to say that DeMarvin Leal can't play interior. I wouldn't advise it necessarily. So that's a little bit unfortunate there, but tight end is another one I would look at heavily. I just don't think this pick is like worth any guys right here. And I think there's some teams that could be a little bit more edge hungry. I'm talking about the Falcons, by the way. The Falcons got Andrew Booth, and I know that you guys are in need of some pass rush pretty desperately. I don't see much of what New York would really want at this spot, except for maybe to move back with a team that's a little bit more desperate for a high-end pass rusher like a Myjai Sanders. Also, teams that want guys like Charles Cross, who's been playing very well this year and deserves a first-round pick. They could be moving up as well. Sean Ryan, one of my favorite dudes on the board, just hasn't been taken yet. So I am going to be moving up with the Falcons because, again, I think that by their pick, there are a lot of teams that could probably take some really high-end pass rushers. So we're going to be moving up with the New York Giants. And I mean, we have a second round pick. So it's perfectly fine for us to say, hey, we're going to move up 10 spots. We'll give you a next year pick because, again, we have that next year fourth. And I think that is honestly a fair pick. We can get back a seventh. It's a pretty heavy price to pay to move up. But again, New York is moving back 10 spots and y'all are getting Myjai Sanders. It's a pretty good trade. Actually, Drake Jackson is a little bit better of a fit. You guys can, of course, correct me on that one. I think Drake Jackson's a little bit higher end of a prospect for you guys. I'm not that big of a fan of Myjai. I think Drake Jackson has had a better, more consistent year. And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's great. By the way, it doesn't really matter. If you want Drake Jackson or if you want Myjai Sanders, take him, and Drake Jackson will be this next pick because Myjai Sanders is going to be this pick. I think he along with Carlos Dunlap would be an excellent pairing. Yes, tackle is certainly a need, but I would be hard-pressed to say that Myjai Sanders is not worth more than a Charles Cross. Again, these guys are all worth first-round picks, granted, but Seattle's just – I have not seen Seattle draft tackles or draft them very well for that matter. I mean, Stone Forsythe was a good pick in the 7th round, but obviously it's a 7th-round pick. Regardless, we're here. I'm looking actually at free safety for Washington, free safety and tackle, because I know that Cornelius Lucas, I think he might be on his last year or coming up to his last year on the contract. Charles Leno, not going to be there. But again, you could look at a guy like Daxton Hill, who is a beast, who can play that slot for you as well as a free safety role. He is very good, and he's good near the line. As you guys can see, 4.30 yard, 40-yard dash, 4.30, 40-yard dash. There we go. We got it. That's hard to pass on, especially since there's some other tackles here. I'm going to take it just because, again, I don't really – the safety depth is not that good after, like, Brandon Joseph. Tyke Smith is another guy who I'd consider in the next round, but let's just get Daxton Hill. We can try to move up into this round again. You know, get a guy who can play slot for you because, again, you lost Jimmy Moreland. And then he can also play free safety, which is a pretty big position of need. You got Cameron Curl to take that strong safety role from I'm bugging on his name, Landon Collins. You'll be fine. Number 42, we got San Francisco on the board, and I don't know if y'all realize this, but Martin Emerson's still on the board, and I think Martin Emerson would be a beast. He is a consensus top 6 to 7 corner, and I'm starting to realize how damn good he is. this team desperately needs a corner, and I think it's the right move. I really do. You guys may disagree with it. Kyler Gordon's another guy I'd mention here because he's an absolute freak as well. But you see his size. I think he will be able to work on the outside. And I think that he'll be able to work in this exact scheme. Martin Emerson, the ceiling's too high for him to not go here. So pick him up, enjoy him. There you go. Patriots on the board. This could be a good spot to trade back and go the good old Bill Belichick trade back spot. Legitimately, I'm looking at the Steelers to move up right now. I just don't think that they would do it twice in a row, and especially not with the Patriots. So I'm going to have another AFC team move up, and that's going to be the Colts. The Colts are just going to make a small trade up with the Patriots. I think it's fair. I don't think that's a big, like, whoa, that's crazy type of move. And you know what? We're going to see if we can give like a 7th here and maybe a 7th next year. I know it says it's already a likely deal, but we're not here to fleece people. Giving the Patriots some more opportunities to get another Bill Belichick because they're getting Charles Cross, which is unbelievable value. I'm going to be honest. I don't dislike Charles Cross anymore. He has learned how to get an anchor, which is phenomenal. Just all respect for him for that. So Charles Cross going to Indianapolis. I do like that pick quite a bit. Number 44, we got the Broncos on the board, and Broncos. I don't even know what to do for y'all at this point. There's a good chance you won't be returning both of your corners. I know Kyle Fuller's on a 1-year deal as well as Bryce Callahan. So the Chicago duo might be looking for a new location. That makes me want to go into the cornerback realm and safety realm for a guy like not Verone McKinley, for Tyke Smith. You don't need safety, in my opinion. You really don't. That's not something that I think is the right move. Linebacker, you could look at somebody, but again, I'm discounting Henry To'oTo'o and Mike Jones at this point. This could be another trade back spot. There are some really good tackles on the board. I think the Steelers might be getting a little bit aggressive because Sean Ryan might be the type of dude that they are looking for. He looks so much bigger than 318. It's tough to see the Steelers go after a guy like Sean Ryan and try to move him to right tackle. The only guy I could see is Jackson Kirkland for the Steelers because he has been able to play right guard. If I'm not mistaken, I thought he played right guard, but that means he has that versatility. Daniel FAALELE, another guy who I can definitely consider for the Steelers. They do like sometimes getting their big-ass dudes. Regardless, this pick, what team desperately needs a tackle? The Bears, but of course they already have a left tackle. So my logic with the Steelers not moving up for a left tackle is kind of void at that point. Ooh, it's a tough one. This is going to be tough because I might just pull the trigger on a slot corner here. And I mean, that's because he also plays safety, but I mean, they also need a right tackle. Dang, this is a tough one for me. I do this live for you guys just because it does kind of make for more of like a interactive environment. I'm looking for teams that I'd probably want to trade up, and I'm not really finding too many. I'm really not. Like, I'm just seeing a couple teams that need tackles, and I don't know why you trade out if you're going to draft a tackle anyways. I think you go with the upside. You go with Sean Ryan here. It hurts me. You're going to move him to right tackle. I don't know how that's going to work out, but worst case scenario, you can put him at guard too. I think he could be Hall of Fame worthy at guard. He is a project, but I mean, just do it. Just do it. Patriots are sitting here, and I think the best option for them could be going after a corner again. Kyler Gordon's a guy who I'm keeping my eye on right now. He, over the past 2 games, has allowed 0 receptions and I think 5 different targets, which is a very good sign. He's lining up across from Trent McDuffie, and he's lighting it up. I mean, usually it's the number 2 corner that gets picked on the most because somebody like Trent McDuffie would redirect targets. And I like Kyler Gordon a lot. I've liked him since the moment I watched him. And I think he might go above Roger McCreary. I really think that he might. And he's going to do it. Kyler Gordon going to the Patriots. Again, I mean, we had a guy from the Lenore Ryan go in the 2nd round to the Patriots. Who am I to say that they follow my draft order? So, on my big board. That's that. 46, the Jets. Another team that needs a right tackle. And I'm ready to pull the trigger on Daniel FAALELE right here. I'm like so ready to do it. Can you imagine Daniel FAALELE along with Mekhi Becton? Also, this gives Daniel FAALELE some time to develop. because, again, they have tackles that are already there. This might just be too good to not take. And honestly, looking at their other needs, we're going to take it. Daniel FAALELE screwing over the Bears, by the way. Daniel FAALELE to the Jets. I think that's kind of going to have to be a must at this point. Screwing over the Bears, because the Bears like their big ass dudes and there's none left. There isn't any left. So that kind of screws the Bears big time. However, I think there might still be some dudes like Zion Johnson that I would consider here for the Bears. I think the guard position with James Daniels probably leaving could certainly open up a spot for a guy like Zion. Oh, this is a tough one, though. This is a real tough one because I think the Bears could definitely use another corner like Roger McCreary. Mikael Wright is another guy who I think the Bears would like. They do seem pretty confident in their secondary, though. I do believe that they feel a little bit more comfy and cush with that. Wide receiver is something that they're probably going to be a little bit worried about. So I'm going to be choosing Jameson Williams out of Alabama here. You need a guy to stretch the field, and you have a really good guy in the slot right now, and Darnell Mooney. Jameson Williams is just going to add another level to that. He's going to be a really good target. So let's see what happens right there. Number 48, you got the Chiefs on the board, and I think the Chiefs got to go safety here. You got to continue fixing out this defense, man. You really do. I'm going to take a high-end prospect in Brandon Joseph. You need to have him as a single high, and he's just not very good near the line of scrimmage. Don't know if this is the exact fit, but sometimes the value is just too good. Take the guy who has unbelievable potential. Number 4 or number 5, maybe number 6 on my original big board when I looked at 2020. He's fallen off quite a bit, but there's a chance that he returns to his form. Number 49 with the Giants. We definitely can consider a tight end at this spot. I don't think that's out of the question at all. Running back is another one. Again, you guys might say it's crazy, but I don't think it is. I think they like the more receiving style of tight ends. Somebody who had 230 something yards and 4 touchdowns, or maybe like 232 and 4 touchdowns on 8 receptions. Just shows you how damn good Isaiah Likely is. He is not your complete tight end, but he is the most fun tight end. So get Isaiah Likely right there out of Coastal Carolina for the Giants. And the Steelers, Steelers could be looking at a guy like Jahan Dotson as a good guy to stretch the field. David Bell, another one. Definitely both worth this pick. Jahan Dotson's such a beast. It's sad that he's falling. It's just there's a lot of different dudes in this draft, different style of dudes. And I think Jahan Dotson would be good as both a boundary as well as in the slot, depending on where you want to put Deontay Johnson. Yeah, I'm legit considering Jahan Dotson here for the Steelers. They know how to draft receivers, and I think he is a really damn good one. I mean, it says redshirt senior, but you look at the only thing that really matters is the date of birth. If you get a dude who's like 23 years old as a redshirt senior, it's a little bit different than a guy who's going to be, he's just going to be turning 22. He's going to be a very young 22. So that's okay. Another position I'd look at, corner, again, Roger McCreary would be a pretty good one. I just don't think that would fit exactly what the Steelers are looking for. Also, the Steelers aren't very good at drafting corners. I'd look at tackle still. You got Jackson Kirkland here, and I think that fits more with what the Steelers are looking for. I did this in my last draft, doing it again. Jackson Kirkland played right guard. He's comfortable on the right side of the line. I think he could play right tackle, or if Trey Turner doesn't want to return, go right guard for him until he's comfortable. Builds that anchor. We're moving to a scheme that is a little bit more heavy in terms of movement rather than just more stable pocket. And especially with getting a guy like Matt Corral, I think that's going to be a little bit more emphasized by that type of pick. We drafted a more mobile center for a zone running scheme rather than more of a mauler. So I think that kind of shows the direction that the Steelers are going. Jackson Kirkland fits exactly with what that's looking for. Number 51, you got the Vikings. I don't know why I just tripped up on the word Vikings. I think going edge would be a really good option here, dude. Nick Bonito is such a stud. He's such a stud. I don't know if I might even have the freaking Falcons get 2 dudes here, but they didn't get what's his name, Jai. So Nick Bonito is still on the board. Nick Bonito doesn't fit exactly what they're looking for, so I'm obviously not going to take him, but just keep in mind that I really do want to take him. I'd look at a guy like Verone McKinley here. You do need a free safety. He works really well in that role. It's a tough one. I think Verone McKinley is just so young. You look at him, he's a redshirt sophomore. And he is a really dynamic free safety. He's going to work as more like, yeah, he's not exactly what you're looking for in a Anthony Harris type of replacement, but I think you already have what you're looking for there. I really do. Xavier Woods, if I'm not mistaken, is the guy you have, and I think he's perfectly fine. So Vikings fans, push back on this all you want. I'm perfectly willing to talk with you guys about it, but Verone McKinley out of Oregon, get a young, dynamic free safety to learn under Harrison Smith, and I think you'll be good. Number 52, we got the Brownies. Brownies back on the board. I think this is just a spot where you could take a guy like Nick Bonito and say, screw it, we're getting best player available, similar to how they got JOK last year. They could look after a wide receiver like Jahan Dotson here as well. I'm going to go with the higher upside player, Nick Bonito. I just think that that might be the right move. However, I am seeing a team that is desperate for a trade up. Also, I just don't think I think that might just be a stupid move to go with the Browns right there and go for a pick like that, especially when Jadeveon Clowney is playing at probably one of the best times of his career. I think the Browns are going to be asking for a pretty hefty high sixth round pick from the Chargers to move up 2 spots, because the Chargers need some help getting rid of Uchenna Nwosu, Nick Bonito, first round grade, last first round edge that I have going right there. 53 with the Bills. Yeah, I have no idea what to go with the Bills. I think Zion Johnson would be actually a really good fit here. It would help them out with their run game for sure. They could look at a tight end or like an all-around running back. I just don't really think that's the right move. We already fixed that cornerback situation. We're going to go Zion Johnson here. You know, you can't go wrong with going offensive line. So I think that that's the route that we are going to go. Number 54 with the Browns back on the board again. I think wide receiver is going to be the right move. We could also look at linebacker. We could. You know, DeMarvion Overshown still on the board. I think he honestly fits what JOK is playing right now, so not much of a need. There are still quarterbacks on the board. There are. So I would definitely be considering a guy like Carson Strong at this point. I would. But there is a team in Atlanta that's looking for a quarterback. There's also a team that'll be looking for a quarterback that is not in this round. So the Browns are going to get a nice hefty sum from a team in the Lions. Lions are going to be looking for a guy with a high upside, and I think it's going to be the right move. Personally, I think it will be. So we are going to be giving a 5th round pick along with another next year's 7th. Or we don't have another next year's 7th. We're going to be sending a 5th and a 6th along with pick 65 to be able to move up this far. We'll send another 5th. I think that's more fair to move up to select a quarterback. So Lions fans, feel free to push back on that, but Carson Strong has shown that he can run a 2-minute drill, which is a very big plus in this league, especially with a team like the Saints right here that we're considering taking a quarterback for. I don't think James is the issue, so we're not going to take him. But still, I think Carson Strong is the most upside out of the dudes remaining, so we're going to take him there. Saints, I think going edge would have been a good idea if we still had Nick Bonito on the board just for some extra depth, but at this point, corner, I think is the right move. Roger McCreary out of Auburn. It's a steal at this point, to be fair. He's a really damn good corner. I've liked him ever since. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he might have been playing even when Noah Ibbenogany was playing, and I was a big fan of him then. So big fan of Roger McCreary. I think that he's going to be a stud in the NFL. And this is a team that could use some extra rotation in there with Paulson Adebo as well as the rest of your squad. 56, we got the Cowboys. Oh, I don't even know what to get for the Cowboys anymore. Honestly, I think offensive line would be a good idea. Thayer Mumford would be a really good option because he can play that guard role, Connor Williams up for a contract, and then he can move to left tackle because I just don't trust Tyron Smith's health, let alone his overall career longevity. And Thayer Mumford's a perfect plug-and-play guy. I just don't think that you're going to be repaying Connor Williams when this line class provides quite a few options. So Thayer Mumford, the last high-end offensive lineman on my board, going right here. In 57, you got the Falcons. Falcons, I think that Jahan Dotson's on the board. You have to take him. I'd be looking at a quarterback 100%, but Jahan Dotson's still there. You take Jahan Dotson. He's a beast. There's no disrespect at all. I think he's great. I think if someone takes him in the first, I'd be fine with it. But It's just the way the board fell. 58 with the Bengals. I would still look at corner here. I like Mikael Wright. I do. Y'all don't. So, okay. But I think he's a really good target. This pick usually is a tackle, and it wasn't this time. Offensive line-wise, I mean, Ed Ingram could be fun, but I just don't know if he's an upgrade over what we have already. So I don't think that's going to be a right trigger to pull. Most of these guys have just not done too well. Devontae Wyatt is finally here. Thank God. But unless it's Travis Jones, which that could be a really fun option for you guys, 328, 13% body fat. Don't really know if you go in the interior defensive line, especially given how you can go in the sticks around with the guy. Where's he at? Like Fedarian Mathis. I just don't really see it. Tight end is still something I think you guys need. CJ Uzomah is doing really well recently, but that doesn't mean that he's the full-time answer. Also, he's going to be coming up on a contract sometime soon. So I'd be looking at a high-end tight end like Jalen Weidermeyer helping out this offense a little bit more. You do have a lot of one-year contracts in that corner room, but again, I just don't really see anybody being worth it. Feel free to push back on this because I know you guys are going to. But we're going to go Jalen Weidermeyer at Texas A&M. He has come on, and he is finally in his full form. Actually, hold up. Trey McBride's still on the board. We're going to take Trey McBride. He is the most complete tight end in the draft. Jalen Weidermeyer had a slow start. Trey McBride's going to get some respect here. He's a bit better than what we have in Drew Sample as well as CJ Uzomah. Again, no disrespect to CJ. I just don't think that – I think Joe Burrow's making him look a lot better than he is, and Trey McBride is actually that good. Number 59 with the Bucs. I would have probably I just don't even know what to go for with the Bucs anymore. Kenny Pickett's on the board. Zach Charbonnet's on the board, not to mention you got Isaiah Spiller and Breece Hall. Breece Hall is coming on. He's coming on fire. I would look at a running back here, actually. Zach Charbonnet is a really good one. Kenneth Walker as well. Kenneth Walker's a beast. He is a beast. Breece Hall, he's just so damn good. I think they're going to actually take a shot on Kenneth Walker here. I have that weird feeling that the Bucs are going Kenneth Walker. He is on fire right now. Is he a Wake Forest transfer? Yeah, he is. Wake Forest transfer over to Michigan State, and he has been lighting it up. Excellent running back. Not my RB1, but he is tied for RB2 right now. I've watched him play. He looks really damn good. Gotta love when the sun goes away. Breece Hall, probably going to be my RB1 still. Zach Charbonnet right behind. 60 with the Rams. Oh, I don't even know what to do with y'all. I hate drafting for the Rams because, to be honest, I like just going left tackle. And Zion Nelson's going to return. I already know it. He's a true junior. He has time to return, and the next year's tackle class I don't think will be as good as this one's, just because we've seen development from some pretty big-ass dudes, which is crazy. I will say I kind of want to trade back. Being an Eze, somebody who I'd be targeting right now, or Kellen Deutsch, I think that he's really damn good as well. So something that we could take right here is Kellen Deutsch, but I don't think that that's the right move. I think the Rams actually might move back because you still have dudes like Kenny Pickett on the board, Zach Charbonnet, and there are teams I would probably be interested in that. Those teams I am searching for right now with my eyes. I'm looking at the Eagles. The Eagles could actually take a high-end quarterback here. And Kenny Pickett is somebody who can come in. I know y'all don't want actually y'all starting to become a little more favorable to a quarterback in this scenario. But I mean, I'm just looking at it. I think you guys could want it. New York Giants could be another team just trying to get up there. And New York Giants might be having a pretty good shot to get in. I think the Eagles actually have a good enough team to win this division. I do. You guys are probably going to stop stroking our ego. I'm being honest. I think the Eagles are actually that good. So we're going to be moving with the Rams up into this position, or we're going to move the Eagles up with the Rams. We've traded up with the Eagles quite a few times, but again, we're going to offer a 5th round pick to move up. I think it's worth it. I don't think the Eagles' holes are as big as people imagine. And I think this is the right spot to take. I think Tanner McKee is going to return, and Spencer Rattler, by the way. So it's why it creates a big demand to trade up. Kenny Pickett, he has been going off. I think it's time to give him a little bit of respect. He has changed his game exponentially. I think that he's going to be a really good option. Also, since you guys pass so much, I don't really know why Jalen Hurts is your quarterback. No disrespect to the guy, because I really like Jalen Hurts. He's built for a hybrid scheme, like a hybrid run and pass. and they're not doing that. They're going straight spread, and they're going heavy on the pass. That's not Jalen Hurts' game. So I think Kenny Pickett is the right guy for that. Number 61 with the Raiders. Also, by the way, you got to talk about Jalen Hurts. He's been putting up a lot of stats in crap time where defenses are giving a lot of space. Just, you have to talk about that eventually. With the Raiders, though, I'd be looking at a guy like Travis Jones as an absolute monster. Fun pick throwing in here in the second round. You have a lot of one-year contracts down there on the defensive front. Shows that you guys have a good value there. Getting a guy like Travis Jones, who has that type of upside, is really fun. Perion Winfrey has been getting destroyed in the run game, so I'm going to be a little bit more weary of that. 62 with the Green Bay Packers. I saw the Baltimore Ravens and almost just slipped up right there. We could look at edge right now. We could look at linebacker as well, because I just don't really think the linebacker situation is that good. I'm going to look at Owen Papo here as a really, really good option. I don't think the tackles are good enough right now. Edge-wise, it is good enough. There are some really good edges here. Actually, we're going to do it. Where's Zion? Where's Zion Tuapoloa Fatui? There he is. I think this guy is worth arguably a first-round pick, and that includes his injury history. This guy's an absolute freak of nature, and, dude, this guy is unreal. There you go. Sacks per game, 1.75 in 2020. Got an Achilles injury in early 2021, and he's already back, and he was already getting doubled and triple teamed on his 20th snap. He tweeted out about it. Quite funny guy, to be honest. So Zion Tuapoloa Fatui, can you imagine him along with Rashawn Gary, who's coming into his own? Oh, that is ridiculous. Number 63 with the Ravens, though. I think you could be looking at here for a tight end like Jalen Weidermeyer. I think he's a really good addition. Jeremy Rooker is another guy. I like what we have in Jalen Weidermeyer. I know that I think Jeremy Rooker actually might be better, especially for this scheme. He's going to be similar to a higher end Max Williams. It seems like what the Ravens would want to do. Again, continue giving Lamar some actual options here. Get him, be able to lock him in. I think that's the right move. With the cards on the board, I would also be looking at Weidermeyer, but I don't think Zach Ertz has his last year this year. I think you guys traded a 5th round pick, or I think it was a 5th round pick for him. So that's a good value. I'd be looking at running back right here. I look at Breece Hall and Zach Charbonnet pretty heavily. I think Zach Charbonnet would be a really good back to have as a replacement for what's his name? I'm bugging for James Conner. However, I think that going after a dude in the next round wouldn't be too shabby either. You still got Kennedy Brooks, worst case scenario. Britton Brown along with Breece Hall probably again. Isaiah Spiller. There will be one of these dudes who are in that round. You can trade up for one anyways. I think going after a tight end or a corner would be the right move. Mikael Wright's still on the board. I do kind of want to take Mikael Wright. However, I think the talent drops off. Greg Dulcich is really good too. But we're going to go Weidermeyer. He is a little more developmental. So get him, lock him in, and enjoy him. That is going to be the draft for the time being. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys tomorrow for round 3. Peace.